Oh, what's going on today, YouTube? A little video I'm doing today is on an app called Rattlegram. It's just a different form of communication. It's a way during, I guess you would say, a SHTF situation that you can communicate that's a little bit more private than just talking on the radio and a lot quicker so far as your actual transmit time on the radio, as to not give away your position or what you're talking about. I'll go over a little bit what it's good for. I mean, it's a decent little app and it has a purpose, I think. So this is just basically an introduction video to Rattlegram and a little bit on how to use it, and I hope you'd like it. So without further ado, here's the video. Alright, today we're going to go over a little different type of communication that I think might be useful for when cell phones and everything don't work. And I know you see two cell phones sitting there, but this is a way you can have a cell phone that's not even connected to the internet, and it's a way to talk between radio distance in short little bursts of communications, and that's useful for a couple of reasons. We'll go over that in just a little bit. But it's an app called Rattlegram. It's basically converts what you type into the phone to a audible sound, transmitted over the radio. Another phone picks it up and decodes it. So what you see there is two outstanding Baofeng radios, and those of you in the radio world know what I'm talking about. But you can get into those for, I think those two right there were 35 bucks for the set, or $45 for the set on Amazon. So that can get you started radio wise. Those are GMRS FRS radios. And the bigger phone there is my Samsung Galaxy S22 daily driver with face smudges on it. The small phone was my dad's phone. He's been passed away for a good two and a half years now, and he had that phone a year and a half. It doesn't even have a SIM card in it, so we're going to be using that. And I'll put my phone on airplane mode so you can see that it's not connected in any way. So I'm going to cut you off. I'm going to get set up, get the phones both set on the Rattlegram app. And oh, I got the other microphone over there. And this will be the first time I'm using two microphones in a video. So, Lord Jesus, please help me with the sound. So we're going to do that. I'm going to cut you off and I'll get back with you. All right, we're set up there. And right now I'm going to take the small phone, which was my dad's old phone. Oh, first of all, let me put my phone on airplane mode so y'all can see that. There, that's airplane mode. So I'm technically not connected to anything with that. If you can see this phone right here, you can see it, there's no bars on there. It doesn't even have a SIM card in it. So I'm going to take this radio and this phone, and we're going to walk outside, and we're going to send a message to this radio, and it's going to come out here. We'll see. I don't even have anything typed in yet, so I'm going to cut y'all off and type in a message so to speed up the process. So I'll be right back. We're set up there. You can see my phone. I don't think you'll be able to see the message when it comes up, but I'm going to walk out of the room here, and I'm going to Rattlegram that phone, and you should see something come up. You should hear the noise that it makes, and you should see something pop up on the screen. So here I go outside. We are outside. You heard the door shut. I am fixing to transmit in 3, 2, 1. And let's see if we got anything on the phone. Yep, there you go. I just typed in Rattlegram test in today's date, and you can see it's labeled old phone, coming from old phone. You can name what's coming from. Each device you can name. So I'm going to lay the old phone down, and I'm going to try to Rattlegram the old phone. And you'll see that the text just come up in a line. There's no, there's a no frills app. I mean, you can clear them and everything, but it's a no frills app that's just going to come up in a line. So I'm going to type in a little something here. Let's just go test received. All right, so I've placed the old phone up there, and we're going to use my phone to transmit to it. Just a simple test received. It should pop up. I'm walking outside now. To transmit this, you'll hear the door shut, or should hear the door shut. And I am going to transmit this in 3, 2, 1. And hopefully you so let's stop right here for a minute. All right, I guess you saw the old phone received the message, no problem. Now I'm going to go and send another message to my phone, and I put a bunch of emojis in it, some oddball ones that not just faces, some eyeball emojis. I want to see if it'll transmit these. So I'm going to step outside and see if we can transmit emojis, and that opens up a whole new, or it opens up another way of communicating, because you can make emojis anything you want them to be, so far as code, if you wanted to have a code for something. The main benefit I see in communicating like this is in a SHTF situation. You want to communicate with radios, but you don't want to be heard by everybody else necessarily. And this by no means is not, anybody can figure it out, but it makes it that much harder. And if you code things by using emojis, it makes it even that much harder. The next best thing is the amount of time that you're actually got a frequency used. It's short and to the point, and you don't have to stay on frequency long. It's a lot quicker than if you need to give somebody some information quickly and not be on the air a long time. This is a good way to do it. So anyway, I'm going to do this emoji test. I'm going to step outside and we'll see what happens. We're going to transmit an emoji test here in 3, 2, 1. And let's see what that did. It appears we have emojis, and I'm gonna clear old phone here, and I'll show you how to do that. Well, no, I won't right now. That's you get the app, you can figure out how to get around it yourself. I'm not gonna be the one to explain all this to you. I'm just gonna tell you what it is and basically how to use it. Anyway, you see how that works. I'm gonna take this and see if emojis transfer to this old phone, it's an older phone, and we'll see. And we're going to erase what's on here. Yes, so we're swapping phones, and I am going to send that same string of emojis. I'm stepping outside again to do it, and the reason I keep stepping outside is because I don't want radio interference. Too close with the radios, they tend to squawk at each other. So In 3, 2, 1, transmitting emojis. And that appears to have worked. So basically you're getting the gist of it there. It's a real handy app for communications. You can text. One of the limiting factors of it, you can only do 85 characters at a time, but that's, if you grew up back in the day with cell phones, you know that 85 characters is basically more than you could get texting the old school way anyway. So this is a brief summary of how this works, and we're going to do another little experiment with somebody else and introducing our 3 people conversation, or not a 3 people conversation, but 2 people talking. I'll let one of these phones be filmed while I'm talking to somebody else, so you can see how it would happen real time. So let's get set up to do that. All right, we're going to do a test with a real-time conversation between me and somebody else. And we're going to get to that just as soon as I inform the other person that we're getting ready to do that test. So, and you can tell I changed radios. It takes radio, the other person and me, and that'll be the radio receiving. So let me get the other person set up and we'll be right back. Okay, I'm set up. My other person is set up. So we're getting ready to do this experiment here. You'll just see the basic conversation between me and her come up on the screen there as it's happening in real time. You might hear my voice come across the radio there because I'm going to call her and let her know I'm fixing to text her, so everything works smoothly. So here we go. I'm walking outside now, and I'm going to call her on the radio to let her know that I'm ready. All right, I'm ready. I'm fixing to text you.
All right.
Transmitting in 3, 2, 1. And hopefully you're getting messages in there. Ain't gonna make in the check yet. Let's see if she sends me something else. And I don't think she's sending me anything else. Oh, yes she is. And she did. So I'm going to conclude this right here with this. I'm going to let her know that we're done. We are done. And I'm going to transmit to her in 3, 2, 1. And let's see if y'all got that. It appears so. So that is an example of how Rattlegram works, and the place that it holds in communication for an SHTF situation would be short bursts of communication. That does a couple things for you. One, it allows transmitting time down and allows the person to read over. If you have pertinent information, instead of repeating it over and over, you can get it all down in 1 or 2 texts, and that person can go back and read it a couple times. And then you can use things like the emojis. Make a code sheet of emojis, what they mean. Also in this app, there's different transmit rates and speeds, and so between the privacy codes on your radio and changing the transmit rate of this app, you can pretty much keep everybody outside of your conversation. That is very useful. So this has just been a little example of Rattlegram and what its uses might be. And for under 50 bucks, you can get yourself 2 Baofeng radios, and you can have communications set up within 1.5 miles or 2 miles, depending on your terrain. I mean, if you're on a hill, and I'm not going to go over radio stuff because by no means a communication expert. I just know if you're higher up, the higher up, height is might in the communication world. So where I'm at, I'll basically at sea level, everything's flat. I can get about 1.5 miles. That's on a good day. So as long as your expectations are real for it, it is a useful way to communicate, I think. So that is a little introduction to Rattlegram and what its uses are. Again, I'd like to thank y'all for watching, and please click like and subscribe. It really does help greatly. I appreciate all y'all, and we'll see you on the next one. I didn't even hold it up here for y'all. I could have done better than that. That was the text that we were sending, if y'all can see that. It's just me and her talking simple. And you can see that you can differentiate old phone, Katie's mom, old phone. And I forgot what I've named this phone right here. But that's a layout of how you get it. And to erase these, I'll go ahead and show you that. I didn't want to get too in depth in this. Y'all are smart enough to figure out things, I know. But you go, and it's not real evident. It's got a thing called danger zone, which looks like you shouldn't push it, but delete messages. And it's going to ask you sure you want to delete it. Yes. And I'll briefly go over, you got some encoder settings. You can change all that. So you can customize it to be totally unreadable. I mean, anybody can figure out any code, but between those settings and privacy settings on your radio, I think that you can get stuff out there privately, as private as you can get, as a civilian. Anyway, again, that's Rattlegram for you, and I hope y'all found this useful. Thank you.